You're tuned to The Drive on your 24/7 home of the black and gold. Steelers Nation Radio.
Good afternoon, Steelers Nation. It's The Drive on the Steelers Audio Network, a festive edition of The Drive here, as we have got a major weekend ahead. And, of course, we are now less than a week away from Christmas.
Yeah, how about it?
Matt.
Ho, ho, ho.
For ho, ho, ho.
It feels like it out there. Man, it's freezing all of a sudden.
Dude, yesterday I walked my dog in shorts.
Yeah.
Today I'm wearing snow boots. Like
TV said we got up to
Western
40 degrees, and now it's like 6.
Good
That was a couple hours ago.
Good Lord. Yeah, it definitely feels like Christmas outside. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice TV's done some decorating on the screens and the monitors behind us. We're getting in the festive spirit around here, so I figured we'd have a little Christmassy bed to bring us in today. As this is the time of year, Matt, that I start getting jealous of it. There's not many times in the calendar that I'm jealous of people who like work in the corporate world or
have
things
like a real
that.
job, yeah.
But this is one of those times. They're all like, today's my last day. I'll see you next year. And
My wife worked half a day yesterday, and she's like, I'm done for the year. I'm like, oh.
I think my wife's working Monday next week, but then has the rest of the week off.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Or like these like pseudo work days from home where they're wrapping presents the whole time.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So a lot of moving and shaking, a huge, massive weekend in the NFL ahead. But, Matt, I think we have to start with the beginning of Week 16 that happened last night. And what you said this on the show yesterday when we did a quick little 3-minute conversation about that Thursday night football game.
Yeah, we ended with it. Right.
And you said game of the year. Very rarely do those type of games live up to the billing.
Right.
My goodness, did last night ever deliver. That's one of the best regular season NFL games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and I guess there's a lot of things to unpack here. Like Puka, holy cow.
Unbelievable.
Stafford throws for 450 in a lot losing effort, and they won the turnover battle by 3 and still lost. And I really thought the Rams controlled the action and were the better team until the return for touchdown. And then, Seattle, the whole stadium starts feeling that they're still in this thing, and they start picking things up. And then there's that insanely goofy 2-point conversion,
I have a feeling that might be a big conversation in the offseason and an owners meeting topic. And for those who missed it, what happened was the Seahawks went for 2. Mm-hmm. They attempted, Sam Darnold did a pass that got deflected at the line of scrimmage. And it was like, 2-point conversion fails.
Yeah.
But upon review, it was a backwards pass. So when it was deflected,
even though it was overhand,
when it was deflected at the line of scrimmage, it was technically a live ball that went into the end zone that was picked up by a Seattle Seahawks receiver.
Right. Zach Charbonnet just goes and picks it up, not even like falling on it.
So the whole place thinks, bummer, right. We're down by 2. We weren't able to tie the game up.
Right.
The refs go to review. Actually, Seattle got the 2-point conversion in the craziest 2-point conversion success that you'll ever see in your football life.
Right.
And it was
the defense played it perfectly.
Perfectly.
Right.
The defense could not have played it better, and it didn't matter because it was kind of a technicality there that worked out for Seattle. Mm-hmm. And from that point, that place was on fire, and it was like Seattle was in the driver's seat. And even when the Rams scored to open overtime,
right,
it was still like,
oh, here we go.
The Seahawks this is far from over. The Seahawks are gonna not go quietly here. And boy, did they not! They went down the field, they scored, and they went for 2, and they got it a second time. No controversy in this one. And the rare walk-off NFL victory. It delivered 38-37. Looked like the Rams were going to run away with it. Then it looked like Seattle crawling back into it. Then the Rams take the lead in overtime. Then Seattle snatches it at the end. Fantastic game between what might be the 2 best teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Now, here's my one takeaway, though, and this is going to sound like I'm ripping on Seattle or whatever. It's a great win for them. They're in first place. They're one of the best teams in the league. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I have some concerns still about Sam Darnold in big games.
They needed another non-offensive touchdown for that. Like, they needed that.
And they needed some bounces.
They rely a lot on the proverbial defensive or special teams touchdown in a big game like that. And when you get it, great. But when you don't, they could be in trouble.
And that 2-point conversion, I think, if that doesn't happen, they don't win.
Yeah.
The thicker kicker missed one. That wasn't them being great. But, hey, they came back. They didn't give up against a really good team. And I think Seattle's very much in the mix for they could win the Super Bowl. I mean, they're that good. But I take nothing away from the Rams. Like, if we're power ranking today, they're still clearly number one to me. And I might even feel stronger about it. I mean, Thursday night, you know my feelings on Thursday nights on the road.
Tough.
No Devontae Adams, and the dude throws for 450 plus, and they really do control the game most of the time in a tough place to play and all that. I feel as good about the Rams being the best team in the league as I ever do. Like, if they would play again in Wichita, I'm taking the Rams all day long.
I'm with you on that because, again, if you kind of highlight the 2 or 3 major key swing moments, they all went Seattle's way.
Yeah.
And they were all coin flip type moments.
Right.
And credit Seattle.
Of course, right.
That's the beauty of football,
that's how
right?
this game goes, right.
100%. But yeah,
I mean, they should be super excited. If that was the Steelers that won that game, we'd be jumping out of our skin. That's how it works. I get it.
At one point, I think the Rams were like, according to the FPI, were like 80-some% chance of winning that game.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
And Seattle gets a special teams punt return touchdown, quick 3-and-out, drives right back down the field and scores again, gets that fortunate 2-point conversion. And yeah, we've talked about that a little bit. I reference that to you, sometimes, like, about how you can feel it in a stadium when that tide turns, and you
when
certainly
he takes it to the house, it was like, yep.
It went from a kind of depressed and sad and sitting on their hands Seattle crowd to just an absolute hornet's nest in the span of about 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're back in this thing, yeah. And then all of a sudden, the Rams are on the ropes. It was like, you're controlling the whole boxing match,
yes,
but you don't knock them out in the second round when you probably should.
The Mike Pursuta reference,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. And then, it's just the 8th, 10th round or whatever, and the underdog lands one, and stuns them, and everyone in the crowd all of a sudden is like, I thought this thing was over, and then Rocky comes back,
That's exactly right.
It was a great game, yeah.
It was a fantastic game. A lot of fun last night. Tees up an outstanding slate of games that continues this weekend. We'll go around the National Football League. You've got Eagles and Commanders on Saturday, as well as Bears and Packers in Chicago Saturday night.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I'll be doing Saturday night in Detroit in the hotel room or whatever watering hole we saunter up to. Be watching that one for sure. Tonight, Matt, Alabama at Oklahoma in an SEC on SEC first-round playoff game on campus.
Who's favoring that game?
Alabama by 1.5.
Okay, I would say I didn't figure it on a neutral site they would be. But
and you know what, actually, I didn't really want to talk about it too much, but it kind of piggybacks off what we were just talking about. These teams played earlier in the year in Alabama, and Oklahoma won, but they needed like 4 or 5 things to all go their way at the end of the game to win a close one.
Okay.
Ty Simpson had 2 really bad turnovers. Oklahoma turned one into a pick six, the other into a field goal. Alabama had like a bad punt at the wrong time that set Oklahoma up in plus territory. And Oklahoma, like, I felt like stole one in Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
Really good defense.
I mean, like,
and the Sooners
bounces went their way.
I've told you this. There's 3 elite defenses in college football: Ohio State, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable defenses. And Oklahoma's defense did enough to keep them in it. They got a couple turnovers that turned directly into points. They got a couple bounces. They win a close one where Ty Simpson and Alabama didn't play well. It's kind of like the Rams thing for me, though. I still think Alabama's the better team.
They're the better team, but they weren't that day.
And I would take Alabama to win tonight. And Matt, I know the Rams lost last night, but you and I both had them plus 1.5.
Yes.
And they lose by 1 point. I almost texted you, but I was so tired by the time that game ended. I was half asleep.
This. So my son got home Wednesday night
from
late.
college.
Yeah. And a lot of his buddies were already here. He's like, Dad, can I have everybody over? I'm like, yeah, fine. I don't care. So it's like a dozen dudes, freshmen, in my basement being loud.
And they're doing the game and screaming and yelling.
Yeah, they're drinking all my beer.
They probably all put $3 on the game or something like that.
And they were all
talking
about their bets, and they were trying to act super tough.
I got $1.50 on Jackson Smith and Jigba over 88 receiving yards.
Yeah, it was one of them, right? Yeah, and they were all giving their buddy Dane the hardest time at halftime. I didn't hang with them, but I keep going down.
Sure.
Dane's an idiot. He took the over on the Smith and Jigba at halftime. And again, they're probably betting like $3, whatever.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I texted my son, I'm like, Rams plus 1.5. This was probably as soon as our show was over, though, right? I felt good about it. He never wrote back. And he's giving me a hard time. He's like, I'm taking Seattle in the money line. He's like, I know more about stuff than you do. He's trying to act tough in front of his friends and drinking all my high lifes. And, And what's great is we're going back and forth the whole time. Every time stop down, I'm like, yeah, nice bet on Seattle on the money line, dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
at one point they're down 15, and you're like, yeah, you really know your stuff, buddy.
Right. I'm like, smart. And I'm hazing him in front of his budge. And then in the end, we both won.
That's right.
He hit the money line, and I hit one line.
You hit the point
spread.
Right.
So we're like, cheers. All right.
That's the best of both worlds, man. Right there. That's what you got to love. No, that was a great one last night. Matt, I've told you guys this before. Those Thursday night and Monday night games, I typically start strong, but I'm asleep on the couch at some point in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Just because my current lifestyle of having two youngins that wake me up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning.
Yeah, I'm just getting revved up by the time they end.
I was staying up last night for that one because that was some kind of fun, and hopefully,
it was.
Like I said, that kicks off a really awesome slate of college football playoff bowl game. I mean, there's bowl games going on like right now.
Is there? Yeah.
Like I think like NC State and Memphis are in the prospect. That used to be my favorite. When I was your son and I was on Christmas break.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the world was you wake up at 10:45 when you're that age. And there's a bowl game on at 11. It's cool. NC
awesome.
State's playing Memphis. I got some ball to watch.
Yeah. Work off the hangover and then start again for the second game or whatever.
Make myself some breakfast at halftime.
Yeah.
And then here we go and do
That's
a whole
probably
slate
what he's
of games
doing as we speak. Yeah.
And we will. We'll make predictions on all the big Week 16 games, and there are plenty of them. But in our minds, Matt, the most important one is 4:25 on Sunday at Ford Field in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers and Lions. And
my Christmas wish to all our listeners is I hope they had Puka Nacua on their fantasy team.
You at least weren't playing against
we're not
Puka
playing
Nacua
against them,
this
right.
week.
Holy smokes. Right. The two fantasy playoffs, he has like 400 yards. Combined more, I think.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had over 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns last night.
Like 250. Yeah.
Puka Nacua did. I'm asking you. I've got it right in front of me here. 225, 12 receptions, 225. 2 touchdowns.
And last week wasn't much different.
Good Lord. And I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 96 for a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was
most of it late.
Most of it late. Yeah. It was a fun one in that regard.
I like how they got Walker involved though too.
Same.
You don't think of him as a pass catcher, but they've been dumping it down to him a lot more.
No, they have. He had 64 receiving yards and 100 on the ground. I mean, that's a nice It's a nice outing for him, Matt. I wouldn't hate it if those two teams wound up meeting again sometime in late January.
And if the Rams have to go to Tampa or Carolina, they'll probably be fine.
I think they'll do just all right. Weather should be much better than it is here today in Western Pennsylvania. Matt, a few minutes here before we get to our first break, but as we kind of continue to set the scene on this Friday, I'm sitting on a fence right now, okay?
Okay.
I'm staring at the half full glass, and I don't know if it's half full or half empty. I'm staring at the glass. I'm sitting on the fence, and I can't decide which side has the greener grass. There's part of me that feels like the Steelers are hitting their stride at the right time.
Yeah, I lean that way.
Particularly the quarterback,
yeah.
Particularly the offense, and I think the defense, after shuffling around a million parts throughout the year, has really started to find its formula.
Especially the secondary.
Yeah. But then the other half of that, the glass half empty part, is, man, the injury report is concerning.
Oh, I know.
And you are down some key edge rushers, potentially some key offensive linemen in a game where the trenches is going to be so paramount.
I think both are true. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, as a team, as a global view, as a big picture thing, I really like where they're at as much as I have at any point of the season. And they're trending the right direction for all those things you just mentioned. But I think things aren't aligning great for Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, as we sit here on a Friday, I mean, even if the Steelers were 100% healthy, Detroit needs this more than you do. That part I can't get out of my brain.
If they lose, they're eliminated from playoff contention, I believe, correct?
I'm not 100% certain.
Okay.
Because I don't think so, because Packers, Bears, somebody has to lose.
You're right, but you're right. You are correct. So it wouldn't eliminate the Lions, but with a loss, their playoff chances would be just around 16%.
Okay.
Like they would need so much. They need to win out and then need so much help.
I know the Green Bay tie makes things a little weird too.
Yes.
In that situation.
And they don't have
things.
They
right,
don't have a
in
ton of
their
division
building.
tiebreakers going for them.
Okay, is that one of the things that hurts them? Yeah. Yeah, I just think that they need it. It's a bigger game for the Lions and the Steelers.
It's in Detroit. I tell you what, they're not completely healthy either.
No, especially their secondary,
but especially their secondary. But again, I keep going back and forth between plenty of reasons for optimism and plenty of reasons for pessimism as it relates to those, those 3 hours that are.
I wish we had a better indication of who exactly is going to play for the Steelers and who aren't.
And before we get up out of here today, we will. So that's something that we'll be keeping an eye on for as soon as that's across the timeline. We're going to talk to Missi Matthews. We'll see if she has any information for us in that regard. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We'll get into some matchups. We'll get into some specifics when we return. We will talk to Missi Matthews here in the first hour of the show as well. Plenty to get to as we, I think, actually should pretty soon here have the official practice report.
I don't love that, like, Benton and Frazier popped up yesterday.
Same.
Hopefully that gets washed away. And
it does sound like, according to the all the journalists at practice, that Zach Frazier and Nick Herbig were at least out there today.
Okay,
so that's good news. We'll see in what capacity, limited, full, when we get the full report. But from what those guys are allowed to report, during the filming and photography period, I'm seeing pictures and videos of Herbig and Frazier out there. So good start.
I was really worried about both those guys too.
Maybe we'll get maybe we'll get more optimistic report than we expect, but we'll monitor that. We'll catch up with Missi Matthews. We'll continue to talk Steelers and Lions here on a Friday. Just getting started on the drive on Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network. Hayden Schock currently resides in Arlington, Virginia. As an Air Force kid, he was born in San Antonio, Texas, and moved frequently growing up. He was born with Golden-R syndrome. Hayden is married to his wife, Lauren, and shares his life with a retired hearing service dog, Remy, and an active hearing service dog, Abby. He is a federal employee for the General Services Administration. Hayden's father, Ed, who is from Indiana, Pennsylvania, has been a lifelong Steelers fan. Hayden decided to follow his dad's fandom journey around the age of 6 or 7, and for nearly 3 decades, he and his father have watched the Steelers games together and bonded over countless traditions. The Steelers celebrations were a family affair. His 5 other siblings, who were all always ready and willing to play backyard football with him, while his mom taught him how to hold a football and draw plays on the palm of his hand. Hayden lives by the inspiring quote of his late friend, Taylor Hagen: "Don't quit, never give up." Steeler Nation, make sure you vote for Hayden Schock as the NFL's 2025 Fan of the Year. Vote now at NFL.com. Back on the drive here on a Friday, getting ready for Steelers Lions 4:25 on Sunday at Ford Field in Detroit. And, of course, roaming the sideline there will be the great Missi Matthews. She joins us now. You'll hear her on the call with Rob King and Max Starks. Missi, thank you for taking the time as always. And paint the picture for the audience of Ford Field in Detroit a little bit, because, this is one of those places the Steelers don't get to go to very often. I realize we were just there 2 years ago for a preseason game, which kind of feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago at the same time. But that's a little different than a regular season game. It's a dome. It's a fast track there in Detroit. Could we be in for a higher scoring affair on Sunday maybe than some people think?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. The last time I think I was there for the regular season game is Juju Smith-Schuster's rookie year when he hit that 97-yard touchdown. It was either a Sunday night or Monday night. I know it was a night game.
Monday, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. So I knew it was a big win. That was like at the height of Juju. I think he had just lost his bike, and, all of Pittsburgh was searching for it. But that place was loud. And that wasn't the Dan Campbell as Lions, as Aaron Rodgers was talking about. He was asked about, do you have the same disdain for Detroit fans as, maybe Chicago? And he's like, no, it's kind of different, really, and when I played there. But like any dome, they can get really loud. And I just think these fans, just watching them, especially that playoff game last year, just the absolute astonishment on faces. You're kind of like, yeah, they want this badly. They want to reverse their trend of winning, then losing, then winning, then losing, and making sure that they get a spot in the playoffs.
Oh, no doubt. So is it safe to say there probably won't be a heavy Steeler contingency there? I mean, it's not the
that's
the best destination city for December.
Wait, hold on. You mean Michigan in late December isn't lovely?
I mean, it's drivable, but
Yeah, I mean, I actually do think because it's drivable, and I don't know, a lot of my friends that don't work in football, they were like, yesterday was their last day of work until next year.
Yeah, that's true.
Today might be their last day. If people have the time off and you can drive there, agreed, the drive might not be great. But yeah, I don't know. That will be interesting. I think just because of how ferocious their fans are.
Yeah, that's what I
and
thought
just how
originally.
into it they are. It probably, I doubt it's going to be a Vegas takeover. Sorry, that's my dog dropping a bone on my foot. Thank you, Bauer. Appreciate that.
Ice up, Missy. We can't have you limping on the sidelines, okay?
Right. I mean, he literally is following me around with a rawhide. I just let him go play in the snow, so I don't know why he's not tired yet, but here we are. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious and I'm excited for this game just because of what it means to both teams. It's week 16. It's December football. Thank God we're not going to be out in the elements because I think the high in Detroit on Sunday is like 26 degrees. So I'm okay with that.
No doubt. If of all the times to go to Detroit when the weather's going to be nasty and we'll be safe in the friendly confines of Ford Field, I will take it. Missy, I feel like we ask you something about Aaron Rodgers every single week without fail, and so here it goes once again. But these last 2 weeks have obviously been much better for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think particularly on the offensive side of the football, and a ton of that obviously has centered around the play of the quarterback who we were asking after Baltimore, is that the best 60 minutes he's played in the black and gold? And then we were all saying the same thing Tuesday morning after that performance in the win Monday night against Miami. Matt and I talked about this a little bit earlier this week. Like Aaron Rodgers at his age, now 42, he was 41 when the season started. It's going to be hard for him to be that guy who, when the weather's nice in September, throws the ball 45 times for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. But when it's December and the weather's cold and the minutia in the margins matter more than ever before, he's going to eliminate error. He's going to catch the opposition defense with 12 guys on the field and get a free first down on a third down. He's going to be the high tide that elevates all the ships around him as this road narrows this time of year. It feels like number 8 and the offense with him are starting to hit a stride or starting to get some momentum at the right time.
Yeah, even before he said it, you could just tell, like, he enjoyed playing in that weather on Monday night. It was like almost took him back to Lambeau Field, those kind of elements. Obviously, the wind was not a factor, which I think is what made it not feel as cold as we anticipated. There wasn't, like, all this snow coming down, but he just really took command of it and looked so comfortable, whereas whether the Dolphins want to say weather was a factor or not, you can just tell that a lot of those guys were kind of like, this sucks. But I do think in terms of Aaron, great time for him to be peaking, of course, with everything at this point in the season. But even I was on the Lions website and their defensive coordinator has coached and played against Aaron before. And he was just saying that his intelligence, the football intelligence that he has of dissecting defenses and understanding what they're trying to do to him is just above par. And it is something that they are going to have to very much so be aware of, because his quick release and accuracy and everything will be, A game level. And for that defense, especially the back end, they have been, taken advantage of a little bit there. So I think they know that, sure, our offense, they can score 30 points, but our defense can also give up 30 points, which has been hurting them in the long run this season.
Yeah, and the folks in the desert that are making the lines seem to think this is going to be a really high-scoring game. I can obviously see that line of thinking. You think the Steelers are equipped to play with one of those type of games, though? First one to 35 wins?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The 4 possessions where they scored gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
I just feel like we have not consistently seen it. Obviously, week 1, you saw those 4 touchdowns. Even in Cincinnati, that comeback, I know they didn't end up winning it, but hopefully it is something. And I just think to stack 3 wins, something they have not really done. You can kind of say after the bye week they did, but just like back-to-back weeks where you feel like you're gaining the momentum from it, I think would be huge. I know this isn't a make-it or break-it game because it's the NFC, But I still I think this win would be so important to them, and just for the confidence of both units playing so well. Obviously, injuries on the defensive side could present a problem given the Lions offense, but I think offensively, it feels like Aaron and all these guys are trending in the right direction, and you have to give them credit for bringing in Adam Thielen and MBS coming to the active roster. They've been doing good things the past 2 weeks with them in the lineup, whether, they're not really involved so much in catching the ball. They've had each a few there, but it's just more what they bring in terms of presence, I think.
Well, Missy, kind of piggybacking off of that, another guy that was added by the Steelers into the fold recently was Asante Samuel Jr. We saw a little, I think, one or two plays of him against Baltimore, and then bang, 100% of the defensive snaps Monday night against Miami. Not only did he play well, he had an interception as well. What's his kind of demeanor and energy been like on the sideline? And then off of that, there's been so much change, so much shuffling in this secondary. Does it feel like they've finally found the formula and have the right guys in the right spots?
I do think in terms of the second part first, the defense, it feels like everybody's in the right spot. And I know that people are still moving in and out due to injuries. Like James Pierre went in. He was playing great after they released Slay. James Pierre hasn't practiced as far as I have seen this week. So anticipate Asante Samuels will be there again. Now, he's new to the team. Obviously, he knew Jabril Peppers and has relationships with other guys. But just the way he took the field on Monday, the way he played, you can tell he has played at this level before. And I can't remember how Coach Tomlin put it on Tuesday, but like he's a global football player type deal. I don't necessarily know what he meant by that, but you can tell he's been there before. This isn't too big for him, and he's just slowly evolving and fitting right in with this defense and what they're trying to do. And I thought looked great opposite of Joey Porter.
So someone I've been meaning to ask you about now for weeks is Patrick Queen. And I don't think he gets the credit from Steeler Nation as being the every down player, the green dot guy, the leader, the communicator that he probably deserves. I'm curious what his game day demeanor is and, the way he handles himself on game day.
Oh, PQ is crazy.
Really?
He is vocal. Oh, yeah. He is like, a switch goes off, the high intensity goes up, and he carries that like the whole game. He's vocal, not in a bad way, just more like, energizing people, talking about things they can do better. He is basically saying he wants to get into, the contact and the physicality. Like he's asking for that before he even gets on the field for a defensive drive. He's just that guy. And I think, a lot of people are clearly buying into that energy. And then you have Jalen Ramsey on the back end. We know what kind of energy he has. So I think it's just like all consuming. And I think he's so much more comfortable. I agree with you, Matt, in terms of being underrated. I understand there's been some low points, but I feel like that's been the entire team and different players individually throughout this season. But just so much more comfortable being the green dot this year. And I think that makes a big difference when he is able to communicate cleaner and clearlier with the rest of the guys to know what they're supposed to do. And you see them being vocal amongst each other while they're out on the field. So it's good to see. And I agree. He is, he's that guy that Ravens playoff game. He was sick as heck, still played like we saw it in Baltimore this year for the regular season game. Does not matter if you cut his leg off. He is still going to try to go out there. He has that type of mentality. And I love to try to listen to what he's saying because it's intense, but also funny.
Love it. Great stuff as always with Missi Matthews. Okay, Missy, before we let you go, I was going to ask Matt this question today at some point, but I want to bring you in on this too. And this is a little bit out of left field, but I think you guys will appreciate it, and I think you'll be able to pick it up pretty quickly. You all know I'm a music dork. I think you guys both a little bit too. Like you're both into music and like different genres and eras and types of tunes out there. One of the things that I do every Friday when we're about to go on the road is I go, okay, we're going to L.A. Who are the best LA artists, bands, musicians, right? And I'll put together a playlist of Motley Crue and Van Halen and Snoop and Dre and all the music from LA that I'll listen to on the bus. and that Dan Quinlan and I will play in the booth for like an hour when we're getting everything, when we're doing our hour of setup, when we're the first people there in the morning. I was doing that today with Detroit, and my goodness, I didn't realize the music lineage of Detroit is incredible. So I need...
You talking Motown, like going real far back?
Everything encompassing.
Okay,
wait for this list here. I need your guys' top 2 or 3 from this list of Detroit artists and bands. And this is unbelievable.
Okay.
You could make 2 Mount Rushmores out of this. Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Eminem, Bob Seger, Jack White, The Temptations, Madonna, Ted Nugent, Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross, Greta Van Fleet, and yes, even Mr. Ba with the Ba himself, Kid Rock. And Missy, I got to throw it in for you, Big Sean as well from Detroit. So who stands out amongst that
I didn't
list?
know Madonna. I would never.
Neither did I.
I was just gonna say I did not know Madonna either. That
I didn't know Stevie Wonder was from Detroit until this morning.
Yeah, I mean Aretha Franklin. I feel like her and Diana Ross. That's like classic Detroit. Everybody knows that music. Obviously, my mind first went to Eminem.
Of course.
But then you listed off a number of other. I don't even know how you would. I don't know how you're going to make your playlist, like how you're going to line them up. You might as well just hit shuffle.
It's going to be like a 3-hour-long playlist.
It's going to be a long playlist.
Right. I might have to pick one song from each of these people.
I mean, there's like 15 Seeger hits.
Right.
Right.
And Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder and Eminem. And I mean, like Jack White with the White Stripes and all those songs. And Madonna. Madonna's like way down my list here. And Diana Ross, just Grammy after Grammy and hit after hit.
Madonna might be the biggest star.
Might be.
Yeah.
I think especially if you go global.
Right,
Because she was a worldwide pop star, probably the biggest at one point. Like she was like the Taylor Swift
pretty equivalent
at one point. Missy Matthews is our Taylor Swift, the queen of the sideline. Missy, thank you for the time as always, and I will see you on the plane tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Happy Friday.
You as well. There she goes, Missy Matthews. Make sure you're listening to her, of course, on the call with Rob King and Max Starks. Steelers Audio Network, of course, and on your flagship to Black and Gold 102.5 DVE. And that was nuts to me.
That's a pretty stellar list.
Like I knew Eminem, I knew Aretha Franklin, I knew Bob Seger. But like,
yeah, I definitely would have got those.
I had no idea about
I would have got like the Temptations and some of the Motown
Temptations,
stuff.
Some of the Motown stuff.
Right.
But like didn't think about Madonna, didn't think about the White Stripes, didn't think about Stevie Wonder. I mean, those are some heavy hitters in there, man. Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross. That's a lot of Grammys in that list that I just rattled off, and probably hundreds of millions of albums sold combined.
You know my love for Zeppelin. I've been told I have to get into Greta Van Fleet more. Like I don't even know.
So it'll be a complete like yes or no thing for you.
Okay.
Because I love Zeppelin too. They're my second favorite band of all time.
But they don't even like hide it, right?
They don't hide it.
Yeah.
They sound similar. It's a similar type of cadence. It's a similar type of look. It's a similar type of sound, and that drives some people nuts.
Okay.
Like this is just a cheap imitation of Led Zeppelin. For me,
but it could be good.
For me, I think Greta Van Fleet's great, and I saw them open up for Metallica at PNC Park a couple years ago, and it was one of the best shows I've ever been to with them opening, and then Metallica. It was incredible. 2 just amazing sets. I like it because it's nice to hear. They're my age. These guys are like in their early 30s. It's nice. It's refreshing to hear somebody this age making music like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, all right. No one else now sounds like them.
Not even close.
Right. Okay.
Not even close. So a lot of Led Zeppelin diehards, it drives them crazy. But I think some of the others, it's
not
kind
really
of
a
like
ripoff.
No, they're right out front about it.
Yeah,
But they dress the same. Their singer tries to kind of do the Robert Plant thing. It is. You'll have to check it. Maybe during break here, I'll crank you a Greta Van Fleet song or two. We have got to get to break. When we return on the other side, it's time to dive into the matchups. We'll talk a little 5-Star Friday as we get deeper into the weeds with Steelers and Lions here on the Drive. Wes Uhler, Matt Williamson. It's Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network. This is one of those times, Matt, and this happens a lot, where I wish we could still just play whatever, before the licensed music days here on the Steelers Audio Network. The precedented times, right? Where we could just crank, Motley Crue and AC/DC, and we could have played some of this Detroit music coming in here. Although, I don't know, maybe that's like a bad luck thing.
I don't know. Long way to the top if you want to rock and roll was our theme song.
That, and what was the Girls, 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 Motley Crue, right? Wasn't that one of them? Because there's the... Bum, 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 boom.
Yeah, but Dale made them play long way to the top until the bagpipes come on.
Which is like 90 seconds
I would say
in.
it's deep into the cut. But that's when we could get it going. The bagpipes roar in, and then we could come in. Right?
I remember because that's when young Jacob used to produce you guys.
Yes,
and he's now, of course.
That was before even Justin, right?
Before Justin. We're going back into the archives here a little bit. But I remember, like, there was once or twice where Jacob would have something going on, and I'd fill in and I'd produce for you guys.
Yeah.
And, like, that AC/DC would hit, and you and Dale would just be looking at me like, just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling.
Justin used to get nervous. Like, I got to get on here. We can't just play music the whole time. Because it's pretty deep in.
It is.
Until the bagpipes come on, yeah.
It is. Yeah, I just remember that Motley Crew, that Girls, because it has the car, the motorcycle rev at the beginning.
I'm sure that was part of it, but I always think of Long Way to the Top.
Oh, so good. We'll hum them along in our head here as we roll along. But Matt, one thing that we can play is a little sounder here on this Friday, and of course that is to tee up 5-Star Friday.
We're humbled and excited to be in these 5-star matchups.
5-star matchup. Somebody leaving here with a loss. Not gonna be us.
Mr. Williamson, we have gone through some of this, but I gotta think so much of this begins with the Steelers' defense against the ultra-talented playmakers on that Lions offense. The Amon-Ra St. Browns, the Williamsons, the Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta. They've got some superstars and some really good on that offense in terms of eligibles.
Now, Laporta's not in the mix anymore.
Correct.
And frankly, their tight ends are lucky to even get a ball thrown their way anymore because they really concentrate on Jameson Williams, St. Brown, and Gibbs. And when Dan Campbell took over in Week 10 as the play caller, and he does have an offensive background, that's when it really concentrated to those three dynamic studs.
Let's ride our horses.
Yeah, and boy, they do it well now, too.
Yeah.
We gave Miami some credit for that, too. Chan and Waddle. The right guys are getting the ball. Even like David Montgomery is not a 1A anymore. I mean,
it's not like it has been the past couple of years. It's Jahmyr Gibbs' running back room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I get. And, Thursdays I do that show with Mike and Merrill. And when there's a big-time running back, I always want to get Merrill's opinion on him, of course.
Absolutely.
I'm like, boy, the Steelers have seen some really good ones lately. Chan, Taylor, Jacobs, all these guys lately. I'm like, where do you put Gibbs on that? And I agree with him, but he immediately said a distant first. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's a great player. I mean, these guys aren't bad. And he's like a distant first. He's like Gibbs and Bijan are – then you can talk about number three, And I totally get it. I mean, he's that dynamic. And I don't know if you noticed in the stat pack, I mean, some of his accomplishments before age 24, it's like him and Barry Sanders.
Funny enough, wearing the same uniform for the same organization.
Yeah, and he hasn't turned 24 till March. I mean, it's going to be after the year. So I know that's kind of a weird barometer, but he has the most yardage and he has more touchdowns than Randy Moss. I mean, these are like the best players in history that he's being compared to start his career, and it's very justified.
He is electric.
Oh, man.
To use a word. He can do the traditional running back stuff. Big
thing Merrill talked about, too. He's like, please don't underestimate his power and his tackle-breaking ability and between the tackle stuff. I'm like, I'm not underestimating anything.
One thing, you'll laugh at this. It's very millennial of me. Before you and I do our steal a player exercise every week, one thing that I like to do is for a reference point, is pull up the Madden ratings for the team. Yeah. Just because I want to see, what does Madden have?
Are they pretty accurate?
I think they're pretty accurate. Okay. The one area that I kind of knock them for is they give too much benefit of the doubt to veterans who are past it.
I can imagine. Okay.
And sometimes they don't give enough credence to young guys who are playing Like
I bet a second-year guard that was a third-round pick. Exactly. That wasn't a huge name. Exactly. That's really playing well.
And guys like Caleb Williams and Drake May, I don't think have risen as much this year as they should have. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm nitpicking. Overall, I think they do an all right job.
Yeah. I mean, they're working to a different audience than we are,
But one thing that I do like is they change it week to week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's not the whole season, and it can be pretty hyperbolic.
So if you come in as a 79, week 6, you're probably not a 79.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct. Like there had been times in the past where like TJ Watt came in as a 93 overall, and then by week 8 he was a 98 overall.
Oh, okay.
Type thing.
Wow.
Or where some guys start as 97s overall, and then by week 11 they're 88 overall.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked yesterday, Jahmyr Gibbs is currently their number 1 rated running back in Madden. He's the only only 99 overall.
Wow.
Now Jonathan Taylor's close, Bijan's close. There's a couple guys in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But he's number 1. And I think that's
can't fight it.
On Friday, December 19th, 2025, I think that's warranted with the way he's played this season.
He's scary as could be.
Yeah.
He really is.
And which is hilarious because when they drafted him, like 11th or 12th out of Alabama, they got crushed for it.
I was hard on him for that.
How are you
draft
taking
class.
a running back so high? But
because they also took Campbell. They did not take premium positions.
They didn't
had
take
all these first-round picks
Yes.
and all these early picks.
and you take a running back and an off-ball linebacker.
And then they took Laporta early in the second round.
Yeah.
And a tight end.
Yeah.
They're all awesome players.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I didn't plan on talking about that. But, I mean, I was hard on them because I'm like, I like all these players. But what are you going to do when Penei Sewell's contract comes up? I mean, take a tackle or, get an edge guy or, who's opposite Hutchinson. Like, this is lovely, but eventually the finances are going to come back to hurt you. They haven't. They've managed that really, really well, and they picked the right guys.
And that's the thing. If you're going to take a running back that high, if you get Zeke Elliott or you get Jahmyr Gibbs, the guy who has that type of impact on your offense, okay, you'll take it.
Right. But you can't throw that guy Saquon on a crappy Giants team.
Exactly right.
Or
Bijan.
Genty on a crappy Raiders team.
Yeah.
So you have to have something.
There's a middle ground there, certainly. So sticking with this from a Detroit Lions offensive standpoint, pardon me. I'm getting a little excited here on a Friday. Penei Sewell, obviously, perhaps the finest right tackle in all of football, and really kind of just now hitting his peak and his prime.
Really special player, yeah.
Decker on the other side, not quite as good as he once was, but still,
quality player,
still a quality left tackle
quality
in this
star, yeah.
league. We know TJ Watt's not going to play. And if like we mentioned, we're still kind of feeling out the final injury report here. We do know Herbig was practicing in some capacity, but we also can read through the tea leaves of the moves that they made with Jeremiah Moon yesterday. How do you go about setting that edge, attacking that edge, down some key pieces against a very, this is the opposite of the Chargers conversation. Like, these are two very talented bookends for Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, first off, you just really hope Herbig plays, or at least can be a 20-snap third and long guy for you or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, no offense to the other dudes, but, I mean, Highsmith's going to get Decker, of course. But Sewell, I think I said this even the other day, if TJ were healthy, I'm not sure they'd help Sewell in that situation. Like, they're not going to help this guy because he doesn't need it. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like when the Steelers played the Eagles and Lane Johnson was alone on TJ the whole time. And they both had their moments, but it was a heavyweight fight without any help. Now, if he has very little chance of losing those, if it's not Herbig, if it's not Watt, it's not going to be Watt, man. And to me, that's bad news for Highsmith, who I don't think he's got enough credit for how well he's played the last couple of
I would
weeks.
agree with you on that.
I'd love to see him stay in the field a little more over his career, but when he's out there, what a player. Yeah.
Extremely effective.
Yes. So he's better than Decker. But Decker's going to get help a lot now, no matter what.
Because they can leave Sewell on an island and be comfortable
Which
doing
they
so.
do no matter who the opponent is. But this matchup, you would think the Steelers would be able to fight that fight better than most teams, but not if there's no Herbig. It worries the heck out of me.
Yeah, you're down kind of your top dog in that regard.
Yeah.
And then Herbig, who is about as close to a top dog as you could have in this league for somebody who comes off the bench. I'm using air quotes, but comes off the bench. Like, he's been introduced as a starter, but he is kind of the third
he's third on the depth chart,
amongst those two very proven guys ahead of him. That's the biggest thing for me, Matt, is because we know if you take away all the stuff that factors into every football game, turnover differential and all that.
Yeah.
The best way to give yourself a chance to beat Detroit is to make Jared Goff uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's a very tall task when you're undermanned, when you're maybe shorthanded in your pass rusher department.
Right. And we went down this wormhole a little bit with Merrill last night. It's like, okay, if you're not going to have your usual edge presence, are you blitzing more? Because, I mean, and especially up the A and B gaps. I mean, in the middle, Queen, Wilson, these guys. He leaned towards yes, but reluctantly too, because it's like, well, then Jameson Williams is alone. I mean, like their other dudes, their pass catchers are so scary, and it's not like Goff's bad
They've just
against
got
the blitz.
speed to burn everywhere.
Right. I mean, they're the most explosive offense or the highest scoring offense. There's not a great answer here, and if your hot route for blitz is just dump it to Gibbs and Queen's in the backfield and there's only 5 tacklers in front of him and all this grass, like, oh no, like there's a lot of bad results for this.
Yes.
Yeah. Or do you just sit back and play coverage and tackle the catch and not play an aggressive brand? I see both sides.
The one thing you can't have is these guys getting the ball in acres and acres of space.
No, especially Gibbs and Williams.
As
great as St. Brown is, he won't take the house on you. You know what I mean?
As Tunch and Wolf would have said, it can't be green grass and high tides forever. Against these guys.
Right.
Because they'll run forever if you let them.
The thing I've said about Gibbs now for weeks is he's definitely I think he's the best NFL player with the ball in his hands, in space, with a little in room. Like you get him a little, dump it down, and there's no one around him. All of a sudden, like, oh no. Instant accelerator.
I think that's fair.
Start,
like
right.
There's some others that you could make an argument for, like
Sure.
some of the Jamar Chase types.
But some are receivers, and yeah.
I'm telling you, you cut on Gibbs's tape over the last couple years, but especially this year, he's leveled up. He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, he is truly unbelievable. And you're right. When he gets the ball, if you give a mouse a cookie, man. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile.
1,000%.
You give him a cookie, he's going to take a glass of milk to go with it. Like he's explosive. He's electric.
His acceleration's off the chart and vision and all that stuff. So he's really, really a dangerous player.
Halfway home, let's continue with this matchup segment on the other side. Talk Steelers offense against the Lions defense. We'll go around the league week 16. We'll obviously give our predictions for this one on Sunday before we get out of here as well. Halfway home on a Friday. Wes Uhler, Matt Williamson. It's The Drive on Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network.
It's a 5-star matchup because we're in it.
5-star matchup. Everybody we play is a 5-star matchup because we in it.
Good evening, Steeler Nation. How we doing? Well, that's good. Us too. Hour number 2 here on The Drive. Wes Uhler, Matt Williamson, talking all things Steelers and Lions to get you ready for Sunday, 4:25 at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Matt, let's spin the block here.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about Lions offense, those dangerous playmakers against the Steelers defense. Where's it start for the Steelers offense? Couple good weeks here. DK Metcalf has really come alive. Aaron Rodgers has really come alive. We know that this is a Detroit defense that plays a certain way, has some dudes, but also has some key absences, much like the Steelers right now.
Yeah, they do. Especially their secondary.
If you're looking at the Steelers offense, where do you think they can cut their teeth? Where do you think they have some matchup advantages against this Lions defense?
Hutchinson's a guy to worry about.
That's probably the best way to start.
Yeah, I think he's their best player. He's a premier defensive end.
Yes.
And they'll move him around, but he'll probably come from Rodgers' right against Faltanu more often. But I wonder, as well as Cook played, would I put my stud against the unproven guy, So I'm curious how much he aligns on each side.
Sure.
But either way, Muhammad on the other side is more of a designated pass rusher type, but he's got a lot of sacks too. So they'll get after the quarterback, but it all starts with Hutchinson 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very, very good player.
I know we mentioned this, I think, maybe Wednesday or yesterday, but if he would have stayed healthy last year, he would have likely won the Defensive Player of the Year.
The day he got hurt, that was when the voting was, he would have won.
He was the odds-on favorite in Vegas type thing at that point.
So he's been that type of player.
Yeah.
So now this kind of is back to like the Sewell conversation, no matter what, if Cook's struggling against Muhammad and you got to help him, is Troy ready to do that alone? Maybe. I'm not saying
then
he can't.
It's like
I'm
all of a sudden you don't have
him.
enough bullets in your holster type thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm super high on Faltanu, and he's going to have plenty of one-on-one reps against Hutch, but it's not going to be like Sewell where I don't care who that dude is, you got him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
for
up to that
60
point.
snaps.
Right.
Yeah.
So that part interests me. Jack Campbell's has become a great player, a borderline great player on the second level. He's their leader. We talked to Missi about Queen. That's Campbell's, a big-time way to he's playing better than Queen. He's playing better than just about every linebacker. But the secondary used to be a strength. I mean, they had a first-round pick in Arnold. Branch is a phenomenal slot
So
/ safety.
So good.
Joseph is an exceptional safety that no one ever talks about, and all those dudes are out. They're playing some guys. I mean, Arthur Millette and people like that that should probably not be out there.
Is Joseph out for the year like Branch?
I don't know, but I don't think he's available for this one.
Okay.
He's been out for a little while. So I think it's not a particularly good defense as currently constructed, to be frank. I mean, we talked about the good things because everything else is pretty rough. Now, I think you can run on them. But I'm curious, are the Steelers going to try to shorten this game, make it somewhat of a rock fight, battle it out? I think that's a mistake because I think you need to play this game like you have to get to 30 points.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
This is not a rock. This is not a rock fight type game.
This is the weather. This
is like even with Joe Flacco, you went to Cincinnati knowing you were going to have to score some points.
Yeah.
On that Thursday night game.
Right. You have to have that mentality.
I think it's that same kind of to use a Mike Tomlin analogy, like this is going to be like a gunfighter matchup. And gunfighters get shot sometimes, but you got to hit the target more often than you get shot. I think it's going to be one of those.
You got to come out guns blazing.
You're going to give up some explosives. They're going to score some points, but you got to answer the bell.
Yeah,
they're going to land some haymakers. You're going to land some haymakers. Who's got more juice at the end?
Yeah, I hope they don't view it of we'll punt and pin them deep and field position game, and then we'll get the ball back.
Almost impossible to do against.
You're right,
this team
because they're going to have big plays. They're going to consistently move the football. They're going to score points. So that part I'm interested in. We've talked about this, but I do think it really stands out from a tactical situation. Is this team is very light on defensive backs, and even when they're healthy, they want to stay in their base as much as possible.
They only want 4 DBs on the field at a time.
Yeah, and now the Steelers don't play 11. I mean, much. I mean, they're the lowest in the league, but they still play it a lot. I mean, it's still 40% of their snaps are with 3 receivers. It's not like they don't know what they're doing in 11. And their yards per play are really high in 11. They're like 6th best out of every team in the league out of 11 personnel, which doesn't quite add up to me because their receivers are not one of the best groups in the league. But do you just lean into that, especially now with Thielen and MVS being a little bit more stable?
So. Up the speed?
Yeah.
I think so.
I heard this. I didn't double check it, but I think last week against the Dolphins was one of their highest 11 personnel of the year.
I believe so, like close to 40% or something like that.
Big for them.
Which is a lot for them.
Yeah. So maybe that's the approach. If you come out in 11, now, there's an argument. Is Valdez Scantling as good as the tight end that's going to be on the bench because he's not on the field? Probably not. But
is a better way to attack your foe.
Right, and get to those 30 points.
I certainly think that's fair. As you and I laid out yesterday from your stats packet, while the Steelers are towards the bottom of the league in terms of percentage of 11 personnel, they're top 5 in yards per play when they are in 11 personnel.
Yeah, they're good at it.
So, Matt, you and I know this. Any true contending team in the National Football League and any other sport, you name it, they can beat you in multiple ways.
Yeah, you can't just be.
It's not. This is the script, and it has to stick to it. And even
some southpaw is gonna knock you out.
Even a team like the Eagles last year, who won the Super Bowl playing a very defined style, they had games in that run where Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown in the pass game had to make some plays, like where they couldn't just lean on Saquon in the defense all the time. I think. And you talked about this earlier in the week too. The offense is growing, but is there still a ceiling there? Like if you want to start to raise that ceiling and those expectations, you got to be able to. I'll do the self-deprecating thing here. You got to be able to win a game 13-9, and you got to be able to win a game 33-29.
Yeah, and I really think this is the latter.
Speak to that, only 3 times this year have the Lions not scored 20 or more points.
Really?
One of them was in their very first game of the season when they put up 13 at Lambeau. Okay? But since then, in October in Kansas City, they scored 17. In Philadelphia, about a month ago, they scored 9. But you look at their last handful of games, 34
points. Week 10.
34 points last week, 44 the week before that, 24 the week before that, 34 the week before that, 44, 24, 24, 37, 34, 38, 52.
Yeah.
I mean, they, in all likelihood, are going to score at least 20-something points. And
it's what they do. And
that's about the line of demarcation for the Steelers offense, too. Like, when you typically can score 25, 27 or more, you got a great chance to win.
If it's Denver's defense, if it's Houston's defense, I would still pick them to get to 24+. I mean, it's that good of offense. There's too many things to stop, especially in their building with no weather. Goff's much better at home. He's much better in a dome. You know, there's something to be said for that.
Sure.
Well, you have their schedule up? Is that
sure do.
I thought so.
Yep.
I can't remember if we went over this or not either, but I definitely had this conversation with Pursuta last night. Like, he asked, like, well, we're saying all this good stuff about the Lions, and we know they're a good team, and we think they could still win the Super Bowl. He's like, well, how are they so many losses? I'm like, all their losses are good losses.
Yeah.
I mean, they
at
play
L.A.,
yeah.
at Green Bay, at Kansas City, at Philadelphia.
Right. I'm like, well, they play in the hardest division. They have a first-place schedule, and they did battle with some really good teams and came up a little short.
I mean, like Minnesota's the only,
so-so one.
non-playoff team that they've lost to.
Right. They didn't lose to the Raiders and the Browns, right.
Sure. It is funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are man, they're dangerous. That's just what I keep coming back to. Even as kind of the proverbial wounded animal that they are a little bit right now, and not quite the heavyweight that they felt like at times over the last couple years. Still very dangerous, and they might be, or they probably are, that proverbial wounded animal that's backed into a corner, and they know they have to bring their A game on Sunday.
It maybe is what worries me the most about this matchup, and what you mentioned to start the show about what's the Steeler injury situation and who's actually going to be dressing for this game. And by no means am I saying the Steelers will punt this one, but let's say Herbig. If he's truly a 50-50, do you play him in this one, or do you save him for the two divisional games?
Yeah.
And then maybe in the playoffs? Or, I mean, I do know that the Steelers win, the Ravens lose, you're in really, really good shape, and you. So I wonder, I mean, these guys that are truly questionable, will they go or not?
It's a great question. And listen, that's always part of the equation this time of year, is trying to balance the way you're playing, your injury status, and trying to get all those things to kind of homogenate and acquiesce at the right time heading into the postseason.
I mean, every team's goal is, how can we win the Super Bowl until you're eliminated? What's the best path of using your best guys to get to the Super Bowl, It's
a fair question to ask at this point. It really is. That'll do it for 5-Star Friday. When we come back on the other side, let's go around the league. Week 16.
Some good games.
A lot of important good games this week. We'll give our thoughts and our predictions on all of those before we close with final thoughts and predictions for the Steelers and the Lions. Plenty more meat on the bone here on the drive today. Uhler, Williamson, Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network. Here we go. A massive Week 16 slate begins on Saturday and rolls into Sunday, and an important game on Monday night as well. Matt Williamson, road is
warmed up here, man.
That road is narrowing. It's the most wonderful time of the year. College football playoff begins at 8 o'clock tonight in Norman between the Sooners and the Tide. I'm sure whichever...
I have a quick question about that game. From a Steeler perspective and finding their next quarterback, I assume we want Ty Simpson to not only win that game, but play well and raise his stock, go to the pros, take Bama through the playoffs a little bit.
This is an interesting, you and I could probably spend 15 minutes on this.
I know, yeah.
But I guess then that would come down to...
I was going to bring it up. We were at the end of the segment. I'm like, this is going to be a long conversation. I should wait. And I wanted to make sure I talked about it before the game.
If you want more, if you're convinced that this is the year the Steelers have the capital, have the resources, push those chips into the pile and go get your next franchise quarterback, then I would think you want him to play well, because you want more hats in that ring.
We want 3 top 10 quarterbacks.
Exactly right.
Right.
If you're someone who's saying, I've soured on this group, I want to be involved in 27, there's going to be a lot more options. You won't have to, the supply and demand thing. There'll be a lot more supply, even if the demand is the same, because there's always demand for quarterbacks, right?
Maybe you take a receiver in round 1 so that quarterback falls into having Metcalf
keep building the nest
or whatever.
Totally. Totally.
Right.
So that would be my answer, is it depends. If you want if you want the Steelers to draft their next or step up to the plate and try and draft their next franchise quarterback in April on the North Shore of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania,
Sure.
then I think you want Ty Simpson to ball out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If you're saying, no, I've seen the light, this year's class, there's only 2 guys I'm interested in, and we're not going to be able to go up that high to get them, save it for 27, where maybe 27 is one of those years where there's 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the first round, and instead of moving from the 20s to 6 to get one, you only have to move from the 20s to 12 to get one.
Yeah. Hopefully 32 to 12. Yeah,
well, that's the ideal scenario, baby.
The short answer might be, and I'm probably a lot of our listeners are going, well, is Rodgers coming back or not?
That's a big part of it, too.
If it's no, then I'm one this year.
Then again, if it's, I could also argue
I would love
though,
to have that guy learn from Rodgers.
That's what I was going to say. If the answer is yes, I almost want it to be this year because I would like that guy to learn from Aaron Rodgers for a year.
What could be better, right?
And
Jordan Love,
unless it's
case in point, you know.
Case in point. But unless it's Fernando Mendoza, I don't think any of those other quarterbacks are ready to step in and be the dude right away either.
And Steelers aren't going to get Mendoza.
And they're not. No.
They're not
Absolutely not. So that's an interesting question from you.
I mean, it can't hurt for him to play well, obviously. But I would imagine if he stumbles or they have a tough game and he gets eliminated, he won't come out.
It's a big one for him, Matt, because like I said, that Oklahoma defense is legit.
Right,
it's one that like the Italian evaluators are going to watch the tape on.
Yeah,
and he played probably his worst game of the season against them about a month ago at home in Tuscaloosa. Now he's in Norman at the Palace on the Prairie. 80,000 screaming Sooners out there on a Friday night. One thing I can guarantee you, Matt, is that whatever team loses tonight, I'm sure their fan base will handle it very well with dignity and class and grace, and not want their head coach's head by the time they wake up Saturday morning. The NFL slate does begin Saturday, 5 p.m. Matt, this is one of those ones that before the year you thought this could be a really great, really important game. But the Commanders host the Eagles there in Landover. The Eagles touchdown favorites, 7-point favorites on the road.
That seems too light to me.
It does.
I mean, I think Washington's playing really poorly, and their defense is shot.
Agree. I think weird things happen in those NFC East divisional games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm not ready to fully buy back. The Eagles did what they should have done at home to the Raiders last week.
Yeah, but I don't even know what to take from it.
So maybe that's what this line is.
They're resting everyone in the fourth quarter. I mean, the Raiders are an embarrassment.
Maybe that's what this line is like, hey, yeah, the Eagles are going to win this game, but we don't think they're as fixed as they looked last week.
Right. I wonder if if they played this game, a week ago, it shouldn't be any different. Because, I didn't learn a lot more about the Eagles just because they wall up the worst team in the league.
I learned they're still a playoff team, and they might not be great anymore, but they're still good.
I'm not like, they're back.
They can still take maybe the worst team in the NFL at home and beat them around like a bunch of potatoes in a sack for 3 hours at Lincoln Financial Field.
But I don't know that Washington's that much worse off. I mean, the Raiders are their own class, but
they're a level up on offense from the Raiders, certainly.
That's for sure.
But quarterback play and offensive line.
Than they are to
yes.
15 in terms of the best teams in the league.
I
thought this line would be higher.
Same, but it also strikes me as the game that kind of the Eagles are in full control the whole time, in the driver's seat, but they never pull away.
Maybe just run the ball a lot.
Yeah. We'll see. I will definitely lay the points with Philadelphia, though. I'm going to err on the side of the Eagles on this one.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night, Matt, a great one with big implications. 8:20 Saturday night. I'm going to be like the SpongeBob, where SpongeBob has his eyes looking in 2 directions at the same time. I'm going to have the JMU Oregon game on one TV and the Chicago Green Bay game on the other TV. In Chicago, Soldier Field. Matt, I like to highlight this. This is the highest, I think, maybe that I can remember all year. The get-in price.
Oh, yeah. I bet it's pricey.
Cheapest ticket. You want to guess?
$382.
401.
Wow, I'm pretty close.
You're pretty close. That was pretty good. I think
I've done good in prices right.
We've seen some high 300s for games this year, but I think this might be the first one that I've seen over 400 is the cheapest ticket available. That's nosebleeds, baby.
Wow.
They're going to be nuts there at Soldier Field, ready for this one against
When's the last time the Bears mattered at Christmas?
Probably when Jay Cutler took them to the NFC Championship game 15 years ago.
It's kind of like we talked about with Missi. I mean, that Detroit fan base for my whole life didn't much to root for. And when they do, they're going to get it heavy. I always think about that with the Browns.
Could be
if
one of
the
the
Browns ever have a year that they
that place will shake to the ground.
Right, if you actually are a really good contender, right.
It's like the way Orchard Park is now in Buffalo.
I was going to say that
those
too.
fans have been
Right.
so diehard forever and have nothing to be rewarded for it until like the last 4 or 5 years.
Right. You don't remember like the Shotgun Kelly years, but they were unbelievable like that, and then it was
I
drought,
think I've told you this before, but you know how much I love the college football atmosphere, and I've been blessed to be to some big college football games, and I've been to the Big House, and I've been to Happy Valley, and I've been to Death Valley, and all these places. Orchard Park in Buffalo is the closest I've ever seen to a collegiate atmosphere.
Oh yeah,
there's some great ones. Baltimore gets rocking at times. Philly gets rocking. Pittsburgh gets rocking. Cleveland gets rocking for as bad as they are.
Right.
Seattle, I told you a couple years ago, was a great atmosphere. But dude, Orchard Park, it's like the stands are still dumpy bleachers like a college stadium, and there's like
stadiums like in a neighborhood.
Every piece of grass and asphalt turns into tailgate space on game day, much like a college town. Like people are set up in someone's front yard, and in the H&R Block, you can park in the H&R Block parking lot for $30. Like it's awesome there. I love it. But
Chicago, your point though, Chicago's going to be on fire.
Might be the best atmosphere of the season to this point. I mean, they're on Saturday night where the Bears are 1.5 favorites,
and it happens to be the dreaded rivals.
Who's owned us for the last 15, 20 years.
I wish Green Bay was healthier, but
Same.
the Bears also aren't going to have a Dunze or Burden, from what I understand, so they're going to be a little short. You said it's a 1.5?
1.5 Bears are favorited.
I'll take the home team. I think Chicago's ready to win that game.
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't feel strong about it. It's kind of sit back and watch. We're going to a family Christmas party all day, and we're going to be home by then.
Nice.
I'm just going to be parked there, feet up. Probably won't pay a ton of attention to the first game.
I think it's going to be one of those close games between two rivals in winter weather in Chicago. I'll give the Bears the advantage of the home field atmosphere.
Yeah, so I probably would just take the home team
to push them over the line. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. On to Sunday in Cleveland, the Browns look to continue to roll at Huntington Bank Field there on the lake in downtown Cleveland. 10.5 points, second biggest spread of the weekend. The Bills are favored.
Over 10's a lot.
Against that Browns defense it is, but have they done the Cancun on 3 thing?
That's exactly what I was going to say, too. And they got so many O-line
We're going to get Myles Garrett at least one more sack this year, and that's really all that matters.
I mean, this is Shador's fourth start of his career. I mean, is he going to be able to elevate people in a game that the Bills have to have? I think I'll lay the points. Maybe weather makes it close, and the Bills control the whole thing, but weather doesn't seem to slow the Bills down. It certainly doesn't slow Josh Allen down.
No, definitely not. I'm completely with you on that one. In Dallas, the Chargers look to continue, despite a lot of reasons not to, win games. Dallas, a 2.5 point home favorite against Herbert and Harbaugh and company.
I question the Chargers every week, and I pick against them every week, and I've been wrong a lot. And I'm still going to do it. I still think their O-line is a real problem, and I think Dallas scores on anybody. I mean, in their building, I know they don't have anything to play for really anymore, but I think that Dallas is pretty darn good.
I think you're right. They just worry me again as the team that has had so many roller coaster up and downs this year, and they're checked out. I think
absolutely could be.
I think I'm going to take the 2.5 points with the Chargers.
I totally understand that.
I'm with you. I've been waiting for them to fall apart, and they've found every way to scratch and claw and continue to win. Maybe they lose this one, but I'll take the points.
I was asked the other day, and the question asker knew that the answer was no. Should Herbert get MVP consideration? I'm like, no, but if I had to put a ballot together of my top 5 picks,
it's a fair question.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not outlandish.
If it's the Heisman Trophy ceremony, and
he's invited.
3, 4, 5 guys get invited to the ceremony. He's invited.
Right. I mean, considering what he's had to overcome and how important he's been to his team and the hits he's taken and the pressure he's been under, yes.
Matt, in one of the what'll probably be dullest games of the weekend in Nashville, the Pat Mahomes and playoff-less Kansas City Chiefs head to Music City, where they are 3-point favorites on the road in Tennessee.
Tennessee's still playing hard, and Ward's showing improvement, and they're running the football. But Minshew's not, Brady Cook's going to start this week again. Minshew's not, one of those types.
He's a viable NFL backup.
He's going to be in the league as long as he wants. I wonder how much is like Kelsey and Chris Jones going to play going forward. I mean, are they going to be spot players? You know what I mean?
Did you see the Kelsey stuff that had all the Chiefs fans bugging out this week on the New Heights podcast that he does with his brother Jason?
Mm-mm.
They were talking about the Mahomes injury, obviously.
Okay.
And he kept referencing the Chiefs.
Not
hopefully, when he's back for the Chiefs, hopefully the Chiefs can. And everyone's like, he's not saying us. He's not saying us. See, this means he's done. He knows he's done. He's not saying us. He's saying the Chiefs.
Well, I don't think he's coming back.
I don't know.
I don't know why he would. I just wonder what he does for like this game and the rest of the last couple of weeks.
This is a weird one. I might take the points with Tennessee. Is Kansas
I think I will too.
Is Kansas City going to be we haven't been in this position in so long and everything's just going to go so flat? No Mahomes, no playoffs. We've been in the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl for 7 straight years.
They have a lot of O-line injuries, too.
We're old. We're beat up. We've played a lot more football than everybody else.
Save it for next year. We'll come back strong with Pat, and you know what I mean?
I might take Tennessee +3. If I could get that up to like 3.5, I'd really consider it.
Like, frankly, if I were Andy Reid, I might start treating this like a bowl game. You know, bowl game practices where you play all your young guys.
Get some freshmen and sophomores in
exactly,
there.
Right.
In Miami, South Beach, the Bengals head to face the Dolphins in the battle of which team wants this more, I guess.
I was high on both these teams till last week.
Yeah. Cincinnati, 4.5-point favorites in South Beach.
I mean, we're getting the Texas kid, Ewers.
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Wolf.
I guess I'll bet on Burrow.
I think so, but man, something feels off there too.
I know. I'd kind of like to bet against both these teams right now.
I'm with you. The over/under is 47.5, which feels a little high. I might just
good
go,
weather, I guess.
Yeah, true. Both of these teams seem so checked out.
I know.
Miami
what's
going to
really
Quinn Ewers.
the motivation here at this point?
Yeah, but that's one of those. That's the Grinch. I'm not touching it with a 39.5-foot pole. In New Orleans, the Jets head to face the Saints. This one could have draft order implications, but that's about it.
Did I tell you the bet I made yesterday? I should tell our fans, our listeners.
No, I don't think you told me. You told us about the Houston Texans one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Shuck to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I know that sounds bonkers, but if you look at the Saints,
who are the candidates?
It's such a terrible year. The Saints have won 2 or 3 in a row.
Emeka Egbuka.
He's really fallen down.
But
Tet's fallen down.
Yeah.
My point is, though, the Saints have 3 very winnable games to end this thing. I think it's like Jets, Raiders, Falcons.
And this is the time of year when those awards are won.
If they win out, and it paid 16-1, that's the thing. You know, it's like I didn't bet my mortgage on it.
That's worth a $10 holla.
Right. I mean, he's playing really well.
$20 Chuck.
I think they win this game. The Jets, I'm not taking. I mean, if the Jets played the Raiders, I'd pick the Jets. Other than that,
the Saints win their last 3 games, or they win 2 of the 3, and he looks the part doing it.
He's going to be in the conversation. It's a terrible year for it.
Matt, all games are created equal, but some are more equal than others.
Yeah.
A couple of you tweeted me, by the way. I got the wrong George Orwell book. That's not from 1984. That's from Animal Farm. I apologize. I'm not an English lit major like Matt Williamson over here. Animal Farm. Okay. Thank you for the reminders on Twitter. The other George Orwell book. For these individual awards, all games are created equal, but some are more equal than others. And it's like the high,
quarterbacks almost always win it. And like for those guys that win the Heisman, what you do in November is a lot more important than what you do in September. Yeah. What you do in December is a lot more important than what you do in October. I don't hate that. Yeah, I brought it up, and people on Twitter are like, wow, Dart will get it over him.
No, he's missed too many games.
Man. I think if Shuck wins the last 3.
Now, Dart could have a couple strong performances here, too. Who is the
too.
betting favorite right now in Vegas? Is it Emeka Egbuka, maybe, holding on?
I think it's Tet McMillan.
Okay.
I think they're the top 2, but Ibuka's done nothing for a while. I don't think it's any of the backs. Travion Henderson's coming on strong.
Ooh.
I got some feedback on that. He's coming on strong. His odds are getting better and better and better.
Let's see where it's at.
Which that would scare me.
Travion Henderson is number 1 right now. Emeka Egbuka, then Tet McMillan, then Jackson Dart, then Tyler Shuck.
Okay.
So hey, your boys in the top 5.
Yeah.
You got him at 16-1.
Yeah.
He's down to 12-1 right now, so it's moving in the right direction. Hey, how about this? Let's keep an eye on that for the next couple weeks. Going every Friday, let's revisit Rookie of the Year.
Their schedule's so easy. If he wins like his last 5 games, it's a chance.
I don't hate your logic there, and those are also the kind of bets that I like to make. Mm-hmm. The ones that pay off really, really well down the stretch. Speaking of Jackson Dart and those G-men, they host the Minnesota Vikings, 1 o'clock at MetLife Stadium. The Vikings, 2.5-point road favorites.
I'll take the Vikes, but I'm not exactly sure that McCarthy's over the hump and back to playing well.
I'm not either, but I think they're in the bowl game thing. They've got some stuff to play for the future.
Yeah.
And I know the Giants do with
roster.
I know the Giants do with Dart, but they're down basically every other key. I mean, and they feel like they have fallen off the face of the earth these last couple weeks, the Giants.
I think so too. I mean, the Vikings' best day is better than the Giants' best day.
I don't think it's particularly close.
No.
The Vikings' best day, they can beat a team like the Lions.
Yeah.
I think 2.5, I'll definitely lay that with Minnesota in what will be a pretty tame atmosphere there.
I bet
at East Rutherford
you can probably
as
get
well.
a pretty good deal on tickets.
$30 to get into that one. Matt, a huge one in the NFC South. Might not quite as sexy as 11-3 versus 11-3 last night, but similar implications.
It's funny, we do a 6-pack on my show that we feature 6 games. And you got the 6 pretty quick this week. Like, I guess we have to do this one.
Got to do this
one. It's for the division title.
It's
but
one
it
of the
was
most important in terms of playoff implications.
Right.
It is between 2 7-7 teams, but somebody has to win that division. In Charlotte, the Panthers host the Bucks, where Tampa Bay is a 3-point road favorite.
I'm taking Tampa reluctantly. And this is another one kind of like the Chargers, where I just keep thinking Tampa's going to get back to being a playoff-looking team, and they don't. And they. But
I just trust them more than the Panthers.
That's the thing. I just don't know what version of the Panthers you're going to get. I mean, they just lost the Saints. Well, both these teams just lost in the division. But yeah. I mean, I'll take the Bucks. I don't know if they should be favored.
I don't like the line.
I don't either.
If it's 2.5, I'd lay it with Tampa. If it was 3.5, I'd take the points with Carolina. It's a good line by Vegas. I'll lay them with Tampa still. I'm going to err on the side of the Buccaneers, the team that's been to the playoffs 5 straight years. And
I'm just looking like Godwin's back and Evans is back, and
Matt, both into the 4 o'clock slate, 4 o'clock hour of games now. This game, both of these teams are going to the playoffs, but first-round buys, divisional titles, all of that still on the line, and a big one at Mile High Stadium, where the Broncos are 3.5-point home favorites over the Jacksonville Jaguars,
who just signed Jacoby Myers yesterday. I mean, he'll look good in black and gold, don't get me wrong.
Yes, he would have.
But he really completed things for them. They've made a noticeable turnaround on offense since he's been around. Dirty work guy. I'm believing in Jacksonville, but I am taking Denver.
You going to lay the 3.5?
Yeah.
See, I think I'm going to take the 3.5. That's another one of those.
I know.
If it moved, I'd lay them, but at 3.5.
I don't love that it's over 3.
Over a field goal, I think I'll
Denver's
take the points.
Such a brutal place to play.
It is.
And one note.
They're another one of those legit good atmospheres.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I can't figure out if Jacksonville's O-line's good or not, because when they play really good pass rushes, they let up a lot of pressure. But when they play average or below, they do a really good job. But this is, like almost all their sacks are against like Houston this year,
Yes.
But that's who they're playing. They're playing a team that is one of the best pass rushing teams out there. So I'm going to bet on that. And I like what Knicks has done lately.
That will be one that we will definitely have in the booth.
That's a really good game.
In the booth for the first quarter until the Steelers kick off.
They could meet again, too.
They absolutely could. Absolutely could. Matt, the lowest get-in price of the weekend is in Arizona, where for just $12, for just $12, you can see the Cardinals host the Falcons.
How could you not go for $12? Because
it's Arizona. I mean,
I didn't go to Penn games in 1982.
See, though, this is
they were $1.
This is one of those things.
I don't go to Pirate games on Buck
I
night.
do give them credit for this. Like this time of year in Phoenix, you can find a lot of other. In Glendale, you can find a lot of other things to do than go sit in a stadium for 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
The weather's still nice.
Yeah.
There's a million things to do outdoors. It's like I get a chuckle sometimes when fan bases play that card. Like, oh yeah, no one goes to our games because there's so much to do.
Yeah. I'm going to go surfing instead.
Like,
San Diego,
I hear that a lot from, like, Tom and some of our pit buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, well, there's nothing to do in WVU. Of course you guys sell tickets. There's plenty to do here in Pittsburgh. Like, I'm like, buddy, this is not Southern California, okay?
Yeah, right.
As much as I love Western Pennsylvania, let's not act like it's Florida or Southern California or Glendale, Arizona in December.
Do I want to go to the mountains? Do I want to go to the beach? Or do I want to watch Cardinals team that
terrible,
forever,
two teams with losing records. Atlanta, 3-point road favorites.
I guess I'll take points. I kind of think they're both on the same tier.
I think I'll lay them with it. I feel like we're going against each other more this week than we usually do.
I just think Arizona's kind of due to win.
Maybe.
Like, I don't think they're horrible.
I think Atlanta
win.
Atlanta just has some more guys with pride.
They get better players.
Yeah.
I think like Marvin Harrison's coming back though, and I don't know. I don't feel strong about it.
They are due to win though. You're
They're
right.
due to
They've
win.
only done like that once in like their last
They
11 or
never
12
win.
games. Matt in Houston, your AFC favorite and a team that is playing some of the best football of anybody in the National Football League right now. The hot Texans host the Antarctica Raiders. And I
don't care what the spread is. I'm not picking the Raiders.
You couldn't probably have two teams heading more in the opposite direction as these two right now. And the line reflects it. It is by far the biggest spread of the weekend. Houston, a 14.5 point favorite in a game where the over-under is only 37.5.
Wow.
Matt, it's the lowest over-under of the weekend and the highest point spread of the weekend.
This is harder math than it should be, but so that means the projected total
is like 28 to 10, 20.
No, that's 18-point spread.
27 to 13.
So they're projecting. That's what I was trying to go with.
24 to 10.
What's the Raiders' projected total? Would be like 13. I don't even know they get there. I would definitely take the under, right?
Yes. It's still unknown if Geno's going to return or if they're going to ride with Kenny Pickett again. They got a backyard brawl decision to make there.
I'm shocked it's over 14, but I can't take the Raiders.
It could be a healthy Patrick Mahomes, and I think I'd still. Yeah. This is one of those. I'd like to buy it down or tease it with something to get it below, get it to 13.5. Get it below 14, but I'd still lay the 14.
There's no way I could put money on the Raiders.
No chance.
There's no way.
No chance.
They're not playing with pride.
And then one this weekend that everybody in Steeler land will be keeping an eye on. It'll probably be halftime of this game before I get off the plane and get home from Detroit, but I'll be flipping it on as soon as I get home. In Baltimore, 8:20 Sunday Night Football. The Ravens hosting the New England Patriots in a game that means a lot for both teams.
Yeah.
New England trying to stay involved in the number 1 seed discussion, trying to stay ahead of Buffalo for the division championship. A Baltimore team that desperately is, trying to stay with the Steelers and keeping the playoff hunt themselves. Baltimore a 3-point favorite at home. I'm surprised by that.
Me too. I would pick the Pats to win straight up.
Same.
Now, I hear all week, boy, the Pats came back to earth. They haven't played anybody. But I'm like, they still won like 9 games in a row. I mean,
as you and I have talked, there is definitely some credence to that. Playing Cincinnati and Cleveland and Washington is not the same as playing Detroit.
Slip up, though, on any given Sunday,
But with few exceptions, like maybe the Raiders, maybe the Titans, a couple of those teams, like it is, as we say all the time, it's not Ohio State against Akron.
No.
These are still NFL teams on NFL teams.
You win 9 in a row or whatever it was. I mean, that's pretty darn impressive.
Yes.
Now, their defense has come back to earth a little lately. They have some O-line injuries, and I do think Lamar's starting to look a little more like Lamar, and it's not the easiest place to play, and the Ravens need it. I just think the Ravens have fundamental problems, and I would definitely power rank the Patriots over Baltimore right now. So if you're going to give me the points, I'm definitely taking it.
This is like, I don't know, I like to use the Nick Saban, the rat poison.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nick Saban used to hate it when people would talk about how good Alabama was.
Yeah,
he's like, because then my players hear that, and it's rat poison, and they don't work as hard at practice, and they don't pay as much attention in the film room.
We can just roll the ball out there and win. Yeah.
Rat poison. This line feels like rat poison. Like, come on, you're going to give me this Patriots team against this Ravens team, and you're giving me a field goal.
Which means the Ravens will win by 20, and Henry will have 200 yards.
And I pointed this out to you, but even people who haven't been to a game in Baltimore this year, I'm sure you can tell by just watching on TV, it's not the same atmosphere there that they typically have.
Right.
They came into this season.
They can turn on their team, too.
They came into this season expecting to win 12, 13, 14 games and be a Super Bowl contender. And like you think at times in Pittsburgh, we were upset with the way things were going this year.
Oh, yeah.
They, I think, have had even higher expectations than Steeler Nation these last couple years. And
I think they were on the outside looking in on the playoffs.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So I'm taking +3 happily.
Me too. Maybe I'm a sucker and diving in, but I am definitely taking it.
I'd take the Patriots to win. If we were just doing a pick 'em who wins, forget the points, I would take New England.
I would too.
If you're giving me a field goal, I will happily take that field goal. There's our thoughts on the Week 16 slate across the National Football League. Real quick, Matt, I did mention to you how tonight is the first of the college football playoff games, Alabama at Oklahoma. 3 more of those on Saturday at noon. Texas A&M hosts Miami. Great one to watch there. Watch the quarterbacks. A lot of guys that are going to be drafted in the first round and on day 2 in that game at noon on Saturday.
A&M's favorite, I assume?
A&M is a 3.5-point favorite.
Okay.
And that'll be a weird one because that's like an 11 a.m. local start in College Station, Texas, which is one of the best atmospheres and home field advantages in all of sports. Could that be a little off at 11 a.m.?
That is a little weird,
Will that place still be rocking? I have a feeling it'll still be rocking.
You said that's Saturday, right?
That's Saturday at noon. That's your watch it with no other NFL obligations. 2 top 10 teams, great game, a lot of pro prospects in that one, including both quarterbacks. And then at 3:30 tomorrow, Ole Miss hosts Tulane. That one could be over by the time the Commanders and the Eagles kick off. Ole Miss 17.5-point favorites. Now, they did lose their head coach, and there's a lot going on with that program, but Tulane also lost their head coach and some of their coaching staff. So
where'd he go?
Florida.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Max Stocks.
Okay.
Go Gators. And then Saturday night, 7:30, maybe you can watch a little bit of it between the 2 NFL games. Oregon hosts James Madison, 21-point favorites. Oregon could roll.
Tulane or James Madison to put up a lot of fight, though, huh?
I wouldn't if Tulane kept it close for a while, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
So I think, and again, they lost their coach too, but so did Ole Miss. There's a lot of volatility in that one. Whereas, hey, any given Sunday, anything can happen. It's why you play the game. Any given Saturday, I would be surprised if James Madison kept it close with Oregon. But it wouldn't shock me if Tulane hung around longer than people expect.
Okay.
That's
so the best game of Saturday is the early one.
The best game Saturday is the early one, and it's funny, a lot of college football people were complaining about that. Like, that should be a night game. Kyle Field, you've talked about how amazing that atmosphere is. You've been there. But that's why, because that's the best one. It's why they put Alabama and Oklahoma on Friday night, too. College football's smart. They don't want to compete with the NFL Saturday night.
Yeah, they're going to lose.
So we're going to put our 2 best games Friday night and Saturday afternoon before the NFL.
As good as that game is, everyone's watching Bears-Packers.
Unless you're a college football junkie, you're going to watch the NFL. That's just the way this country is, brother. So that's your jam-packed weekend slate of important football games. But, of course, the biggest one in our eyes, Steelers-Lions, Sunday, 4:25 in Detroit. We will give our final thoughts and our predictions on that on the other side before we get up out of here. Wes Uhler, Matt Williamson, it's The Drive on Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network. Stretch we go. Just one game to talk about here before we get up out of here. And, of course, it is the most important action of a jam-packed football weekend. 4:25 at Ford Field in Detroit, Steelers and Lions. Matt, before we give our predictions and final thoughts, what's the latest you got for me on the injury front?
Yeah, and don't take this as gospel, folks, but this is kind of what the little birdies are talking about down there at the moment. But no word really on Benton one way or another.
Okay. He feels like a true, something popping up late in the week, like a true game time decision.
Herbig would be questionable, leaning towards yes.
That's very good news.
But again, I'm not trying to get everyone excited because I'm not a reporter.
We know he was a participant in practice today.
Yes.
As was Frazier.
I would say Frazier, I think, is on the positive side. Siamalu is not.
Okay.
So there you have it.
Well, there will at least be some movement on the offensive line, but hopefully maybe some more encouraging news elsewhere. Matt, it is the Steelers and the Lions, where Detroit is a 7-point favorite.
Yes.
So big number. Is that the biggest dog the Steelers have been this season?
Gotta be.
I felt like 2 weeks ago in Baltimore, weren't the Steelers like 5.5, 6-point dogs?
Yeah, it was under 7 though.
But it was under 7. I think this is the biggest that we've seen so far this year.
Like it wasn't Green Bay or Buffalo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Both of those were at home as well, which helps you out a little bit. Matt, it is the only spread in the league this weekend that is above 50 points. 52.5 is the spread in this one. Detroit favored by 7. How do you think it plays out?
Take it away. All yours.
I feel like the Lions win a high-scoring game, but the Steelers cover.
Okay.
So I'm going to go... I'm going to go 27. No, that's not high enough. I'm I'm going to go 33-27 Detroit.
Okay. I have the Lions winning 30-20.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so lower scoring.
I mean, it's 50 points.
It is 50 points.
Yeah. I have my doubts still that the Steelers can really play that style of game and get to those kind of numbers and just air it out. I mean, I like Metcalf and I like the Steelers pass catchers, but they're not St. Brown and Gibbs and Williams. And, so I think that's really the way that this game's going to be played. And I don't love the Steeler injury stuff at the moment either.
That's a big concern.
To me, it's just not great. And, boy, the Lions need this so bad, and they're going to be so aggressive, and it's going to be a loud stadium, as Missi mentioned. I don't think it's a great time to play these guys.
I completely agree with you on that. I will say this, though, for a little optimism. This will be just the third time this season that you and I have both picked against the Steelers.
I bet we were wrong each time.
That we were wrong each time.
Yeah.
The first time,
I've been great at picking
first time
Steelers
was the Colts game. We both picked the Colts. And then I think it was Baltimore, I want to say, 2 weeks ago. We both picked.
I did take the Ravens.
We both picked the Ravens.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll make it a hat. We'll make it a hat trick. 3 for 3 here.
Yeah, and then we'll pick the Ravens in Week 18.
Maybe we should just do that. Maybe we should just do that every week down the stretch here. We have to find a way to talk ourselves into the Browns beating the Steelers next week.
And then round 1, take the Bills or whoever.
It's been a fun week.
It has.
It'll be our kind of, next week will be a weird one with the holiday and Christmas and everything. I'm sure a lot of you are traveling around today and this week and getting ready to have your corporate week off next week. So be safe out there if you are.
Yeah. There's a lot of snow out and cold and, right, a lot of people on the road.
I think I told you this joke ahead of Thanksgiving, but Moats used to make this joke around the holidays. He'd be like, you're going to be getting together with a dozen of your family members. You know what they really need for the holiday season? Get on their phone, get on YouTube, get on Spotify, get on Apple, and subscribe to the Steelers Blitz.
Yep, and they'll say thank you for years to come.
And they'll say thank you for all the free content and downloads in their lap every single day.
Yep, that's what you should do. Go to your mom, your grandma that doesn't even know they have a podcast app. Yeah, right.
Go on your little cousin's YouTube account and follow the Steelers. Subscribe to the Steelers YouTube page and watch the drive there. But seriously, everybody, safe travels. Happy start to the holiday weekend. Enjoy the fantastic slate of football here over the next 3-4 days. And win, lose, or draw, as always, Matt, we will be back to break it all down on Monday. For our video producer, TV, Tyler V, for keeping us nice and handsome on YouTube. Thanks to Missi Matthews for joining us today with her view from the sideline as well. For Matt Williamson, I'm Wes Uhler. Take care, everybody. And you know where to find us. As always, we'll talk to you Monday on your 24/7 home of the black and gold. It's Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network.